Hey everyone, I'm Rob and welcome to the test drive. Today we're going to talk about 5 things. Hey everyone, I can't get this right. Hey everyone, I'm Rob and welcome to the test drive. Today we're going to talk about 5 ways you can avoid getting pulled over without using a radar detector. Let's go. Now, making this video, I'm not saying that speeding is good or that you should speed or anything like that. Obviously, anything that is against the law is bad. This video is just in the event that somebody was speeding and didn't have a radar detector. These are some ways in which that person could potentially avoid getting pulled over. So don't take my advice and go out and just start speeding. That would be a bad thing to do. Now, this video is assuming a couple things. And the first one is that your car is in good working condition. So obviously no headlights out, tail lights out, no pieces missing off of your car that you should probably have, no obvious reasons that you should be pulled over, no illegal mods. If your window tint is a little bit on the illegal side, you'd probably be okay, but nothing ridiculous like neon underglow in an area where that's illegal. And obviously, if you happen to have any warrants out for your arrest, then I definitely, this video will not help you at all. Now, the first way that you can avoid getting pulled over without using a radar detector is the WAZE app. And this is probably one of the best ways. The WAZE app not only functions as a really nice navigation system, but it also shows you generally where cops are hiding. And obviously that's a function of the users, because you have a lot of people using this app, and it's really easy with the touch of a button to report where a police officer is, or where there's a construction zone or an accident or any other factor that would be on the road on your trip. But you don't have to be using it for navigation to see these things. You can actually just scroll through the map. You don't even have to be in a car, and you can see around you, or really anywhere, where somebody has reported that there is a police officer. So the WAZE app is a really nice way to avoid getting pulled over without using a radar detector. Number 2, and another really important one, is to know how fast you can actually go in an area without getting pulled over. Because it's not like if you go 1 mile over the speed limit, you're getting pulled over. That doesn't really happen in very many places. So you kind of have to know based on where you are. Now, I live in New York, and in New York, the speed limit on most of the interstate highways is 65 miles an hour. But you can actually go pretty much anywhere under 80 most of the time and not get pulled over. I mean, if you're going 78, 79, you can go right past, a state trooper typically and not get pulled over. Now, if you're going 80 or above, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to get pulled over. In other areas, let's say Pennsylvania, for example, speed limit is 70 on a lot of the interstate highways, and usually there, if you go under 80, there's a very low chance you're going to get pulled over. 80 and above, a much greater chance. Obviously 85 and above, guaranteed. But kind of knowing how fast you can go plays a factor into it as well, because you don't have to go exactly the speed limit to avoid getting pulled over. Typically you can go a little bit above, and knowing what typically gets you pulled over in your area or in the area that you're driving in was definitely going to help you. Now, number 3 is advice that I've seen given a lot, and that is, if you see a cop, don't slam on your brakes. Now, I think this can kind of go both ways, because obviously if you see a cop, by the time you see him or her, they've already seen you. So they most likely have already gotten your speed on the radar gun. And if you slam your brakes, people say that it's kind of like admitting the fact that you're speeding. Is that true? I mean, maybe. You know, it might be one of those things where if you're not going extremely fast, but you are speeding, that an officer may not decide to go after you if he doesn't see you slam on your brakes. But if you do slam on your brakes, then he does, you know, decide to go after you because it's like you're trying to hide that you're speeding. I don't really know how much truth there is to that. I have heard of situations where somebody gets you on the gun and then something malfunctions, let's say, and that little moment in time where you slam on your brakes and lower your speed puts you at a much lower speed when they reshoot you, and then at that point they don't get you at a high enough speed to pull you over. So, you know, I have heard of situations like that. I've heard about tests where they've done that and where that has actually helped. But, you know, there's also the factor of if they do see me slamming my brakes, that, you know, it does make me look more guilty and they are more likely to pull me over. So again, it's one of those things where, you know, I don't think you should just slam on your brakes automatically every time you see a police car, but, you know, it might be something where maybe letting off the gas and just letting the car coast might produce a better outcome, or even downshifting, which you can do in most modern automatics as well, you know, and slow down that way without flashing your brake lights might help you avoid getting a ticket or getting pulled over. Now, number 4 is a big one, and that is simply don't speed in work zones or school zones. If you're speeding in a work zone or a school zone, number 1, not only is it dangerous because you have workers or you have children where if you cause an accident, it could be catastrophic, but you're often going to get a much higher ticket and the tolerance for speeding is going to be much lower. In New York State, if you get 2 work zone speeding tickets, you automatically get your license suspended. Not every state is as severe with their penalties and things like that, but either way, just kind of as a general best practice, school zones and work zones, don't speed in them. Generally, those zones aren't that great of a distance anyways. It's not like you have a 20-mile school zone or even a construction zone, typically for that matter, that's that far in length. So as a general rule, just don't speed in school zones or work zones. Definitely going to help you avoid getting a ticket. And you're more likely to have a police presence in those areas anyway. And the 5th way that you can avoid getting a speeding ticket without using a radar detector is simply paying attention to where a cop could potentially be hiding. If you're going up a really steep hill and then it drops off at the bottom, there's a good chance that a cop would be hiding at the bottom of that hill. So if you're going really fast and you get to the top of the hill, there may be somebody waiting at the bottom to catch you speeding. The same goes for certain areas maybe that are heavily wooded or have, you know, some areas where a cop could easily hide, or maybe it's the same route every day and you have those areas where an emergency vehicle can cross over from one side of the highway to the other. Paying attention to those and thinking that a cop may be hiding there could also help you avoid getting a speeding ticket or getting pulled over. So that's all I have for this one. Again, I'm not saying that you should just take this advice and go out and start speeding. Definitely not the intention of this video. Don't do that. But if somebody were to find themselves speeding and didn't have a radar detector, this, could potentially help somebody avoid getting pulled over. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm Rob. This is The Test Drive. Please feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the video and obviously the potential advice that I'm giving. And please subscribe to my channel if you'd like. It does help me make more videos. So thanks for taking this drive with me, and I'll talk to you soon.
Look at this. So the snow is only here on the back of the car, but the top of the trunk is actually clean. It's pretty funny.